It's the Tell Me Something Good podcast.
Because we believe that there is still good in the world.
Hi, I'm Lori Gray.
And I'm Rob Joe. We talk about the good things happening at Christ United Methodist Church here in Greensboro, North Carolina.
And we have a little fun, too.
We're so glad you're here.
Rojo, you ready?
Yeah, let's get this show on the road.
Or podcast.
Yes, let's get this podcast on the road.
Well, I'm very happy you're back, Rojo.
Glad to be back with everyone.
Oh my gosh, we had, you were out taking some much needed time off last week.
Yes,
and I hope you feel rested, although after yesterday, which we'll get to in a minute, you might not be so rested because I took a 2-hour nap.
Okay, so before we talk about yesterday, just about yesterday, I thought about taking a nap because I needed a nap desperately. But by the time I got home and got settled and kind of was at a good place to take a nap, it was 4:30. And so I'm like, do I take a nap? Do I not take it? So I stayed up until 8:30 and then crashed.
Well, I went home yesterday and I slept for 2 hours.
Yes, as I wish I had. So for the listener, what are we talking about, Lori?
Well, the something good, we're going to have the same thing.
There's so many something goods from this
week. There was so much.
But here we go.
Yes, yesterday was our one service.
One service.
We normally have a 9 a.m. contemporary and 11 o'clock traditional. And yesterday we had one combined worship service at 10. Mm-hmm. And then we did a cookout after.
Yes.
And then we did a playground dedication.
Yes.
It was a big day. All of it. We had about 500 people in attendance in person. Okay. And over 100 online.
Wow.
I know.
It is always such a good feeling, and the size, like the number of people does not determine if it's a good service, but it always feels good when you're in a room and it's full of people and you're all worshiping and you're all getting that good feeling of the Holy Spirit through being in worship together.
Right, and it was a joyful experience too.
Oh my gosh.
So much joy.
No lack of joy.
No, there was no lack of joy.
I think we should trademark that.
No lack of joy. Yes. It was fantastic.
I don't know for what, but
I don't know.
Maybe a t-shirt.
Maybe.
We'll start there.
And a hat.
Okay. And a Tic Tac box.
Tic Tac box.
Some people carry Tic Tacs with them wherever they go.
But did they make boxes for that?
We could surely ask our friends over at Athena Print if they would do it for us.
Okay.
Okay. Back to the regularly scheduled program.
So the one service. So what was your favorite part of the service? Pick one thing. I know it's going to be hard because but I've got a couple of things in my head, so if you use one of mine, then I can say my other one.
So one of my most favorite things about worship specific, so if we were to break it down between worship, cookout, and playground dedication.
Right, just worship specific.
Okay, my most favorite thing about worship, I really, really enjoyed. So I happened to be standing close to the front because I was taking some photos and video.
Right.
For social media, of course. And when Miss Crystal was announcing that the final closing hymn, the hymn of departure, was going to be interactive,
yes,
Christ Church understood the assignment. They showed up and showed out. First of all, I was like, okay, maybe some people will stand. So, okay, let me back up.
Yeah, explain what happened in worship.
Miss Crystal came up to announce the closing hymn and said the song is called Standing on the Promises.
Right.
And we invite you, Christ Kids and Christ Kids at Heart, so everybody in the room, of course, we invite you to stand when you're singing the word standing and then sit down.
Yes.
And then stand again.
Yep.
And sit. So I was like, okay, this will be a fun little video of some people doing some things. Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure most people in the room, at least once, participated in that.
Oh, yeah.
And it was awesome.
It was incredible. So I was not in the room, but I was standing in the narthex just outside because I was, running around as I do. And I was just, it made my heart so happy. And I laughed because, by the end of it, everybody was like, okay, this is just, it was the longest
when is this ever going to end?
It seemed so long. Yeah. But yeah, it was great. So that was one of my favorite parts too. So
you tell me yours.
One of my other favorite parts was the Christ Kids time and Miss Crystal putting on those big ears. Oh my God. And then her and Garrett's banter back and forth. So cute.
I was sitting next to one of our coworkers in the playground area because that was one of the only places we could find seating. And I leaned over to her and I said, I feel like I'm watching like a really good TV show, like in the best way, right? Because they have this like natural, like, I don't know what to even call it, but like just the way that they interact with each other is so fun to watch.
Yeah.
And of course they've written it out so that they can make sure they hit the highlights.
Right.
But they're not just up there reading. They're actually up there interacting with each other. And it was amazing.
Yeah.
It was so funny.
It was so funny. So those, yes. And then we went from worship. Of course, Pastor Morse's sermon was fantastic, as it always is, even though he will say, that was the worst sermon ever.
But we know in our hearts that it actually was good.
Yeah, it was fantastic. And then, of course, the cookout. So one of the big improvements over last year when we did this, there was only one food line. There were 4 lines this year, so we moved through it very quickly, which was awesome.
Yeah, sorry to cut you off.
No.
So last year, you and I, lots of the staff were kind of buzzing around doing little things here and there, trying to get things set up.
Yeah.
And just getting people through the line, etc. So, you know, when we went through the line, it was already going to be at the end anyway, so it didn't matter to me how long it took because I was just waiting.
Right.
Well, same thing this year. You know, lots of us were not eating probably the first thing, and that's totally fine. But the point is that I was like, oh, I probably should get some food if I want some, because it's like the line was wrapped up, or the lines were wrapping up, and well-oiled machine. Well done, team.
Yeah, it was great, and it was a beautiful day.
Oh my gosh, a little crisp, a little chill.
It was a nice breeze, and then loved seeing all the and what they said, which I didn't really put it all together because I was too busy running my mouth, but a lot of the Sunday school classes, because they'll start meeting again next week, they sat together yesterday, which was great. Yeah, so it was a great day.
Well, and that. The place where we have the cookout, like right on the front lawn with that big grassy area, is such a great spot because you can be together, but you can still have like your little separate spots, like if you need to kind of keep your kids close, or if you're meeting with your Sunday school group. But for everybody to be like within eyesight of each other, and the Kona Ice truck was here. It was just a really
Did you get Kona
delicious.
Ice?
I wanted to, planned on it, had my order ready. But I did not.
I did not either. Well, I was cold, so I didn't want to eat Kona Ice because it would have made me colder.
Yeah. Well,
so I did not. But
instead of doing Kona Ice, Lori Gray, what were we doing? We were running around.
Oh, we were
doing
interviewing
a
people.
Interview session.
Yes, that was fun.
It was very fun. So for those of you listening, we will post that at some point this week. I'm hoping to have that out before the end of the work week. But it just kind of was a quick little chance, since everybody was already together and very casual, relaxed, to run around and ask people why they love Christ Church.
I need that for the Friday email.
Okay, well, it'll be ready soon.
Because they will love. I had an email today from one of our church members, and she was asking asking where all the pictures are from yesterday, and I said I'm sure that we will have them out soon, and I'll include them in an email. So probably, anyway, there's some more stuff we need to talk about.
Yeah, that's great.
All your pictures.
For those listening who were in attendance or just are curious about what it was, all those photos will be in a online gallery that we'll send a link out in whenever Lori has it scheduled, and we'll have that video ready for you as well. So we'll be able to share with you the whole day, whether you were there or not.
Yeah. So in other exciting news, so that was a huge
day. Part 2.
But part 2's coming up Wednesday night.
Oh, sorry.
Oh.
So part 2 of the day was the cookout.
Sorry.
So part 3.
Oh, part 3. I'm sorry. We skipped over. I was getting so excited about Welcome Wednesday. So then we had the playground dedication, which had I not eaten so much at lunch, I would have gone and gotten on the little merry-go-round thing.
That would not have ended well.
But it would not have ended well. But I'm going to get on it for sure.
Yes.
And because I like to spin around. But yeah, the playground dedication was so sweet.
Yeah. So, okay, you've kind of alluded to, like, not maybe your favorite, but like something that you're interested in playing with. So when I was walking out to the dedication, not very far from the building, I heard like this really sweet sound, and I was like, oh, that's really cute, because it's like this little chime sound.
Yeah.
Well, for those of you who have seen the playground, you've seen where they've added like this very interactive and
there's a xylophone.
Yeah.
And then chimes.
There's a musical component, which I think is so interesting.
Percussion. Yep.
So there were kids just like playing the chimes. So it sounded like my grandparents' house where they used to have wind chimes. It was just very, very cool to hear.
Yeah, well, that is probably my favorite part.
Yeah.
I mean, and I've played with that stuff already, but I just the merry-go-round thing. I always liked the merry-go-round as a kid because again, I like to go spin around and get fast.
There you go.
Yeah, so it was a big day yesterday. A big day. That's why we all had to take a nap or go to bed super early last night because it was
exactly right.
It was a lot.
My legs were tired. My brain was tired, but
Everything.
in the best way.
In the very best way. Okay, so coming up this week. Yes. So we had that big kickoff. And so this Wednesday is our kickoff for Welcome Wednesday.
Yes.
And Joey, our very own Joey Armanox, who is our contemporary worship leader, he has a band outside of church, and they will be here Wednesday night to perform. And they did it last year too, and it was super fun. We had people get up and dance. Hopefully more people will get up and dance this year. So it'll be fun. And then they kick off with the classes start next week. But we've got some great classes coming up.
I know that this was intentionally done, but I love how it has been planned this way because it's a nice little like soft launch almost.
Yeah.
So like if you can't make it because you're still kind of wrapping up your summer plans or you're just unable to be there, you know that it's coming up, so you started planning and kind of getting in that mindset of, okay, I need to be free on Wednesday night so I can be a part of these great small groups. But this is such a fun way to kind of get into it, have a meal together, another meal together. 2 meals in 1 week.
We're
very United Methodist, yes. So yeah, I'm super excited about that. I'm really hoping that they play, what's that song that they play every time? And it's so good.
I bet you can make a request. I know a guy.
Listen to the Music, is that what it's called?
Oh yeah,
okay.
I'm sure they will.
Yes.
Yeah. So if you are wondering what the classes are, Katie and I talked about that last week. So you can go back and listen to the podcast from last week and you can hear more information about that. Or, of course, you can visit our website at christgreensboro.org/welcome-Wednesday. And that's all the Welcome Wednesday information there. You can volunteer, you can register to eat, you can look at all the classes and register for those. You can see what we have for youth and children and everything's right there. One
That's
button.
Awesome.
Yeah. So that's coming up. And then, oh my goodness. So the last Habitat build is coming up.
Yeah.
So that's next Sunday, I think.
Saturday?
Yes. I mean, Sunday, yeah. Thank you. Saturday.
Okay.
Yes, it is. Oh, no, this coming Saturday, September 14th.
So mark your calendars to join us this Saturday.
Yes, if I could get my dates right.
That's okay.
Yes, and that's 8:30 to 3. And you can, if you want more information about that, you can visit our website for that as well. We have the Christ Youth Wake Forest Family and Faith Day is this Saturday as well.
Awesome.
Youth group kickoff is
This
September
Sunday?
15th, this Sunday. Gen X has their meetup on September 15th. All the small groups come back and that meet our Sunday small groups.
Sure.
They kick off this coming Sunday. It's just a lot. It's a lot of stuff going on.
So let's talk to the listener about what they can expect from this Sunday, because this Sunday is different than last Sunday, like yesterday, where we had a big celebration with our combined service. But this Sunday is what?
So this Sunday is what the small groups will come back together. So most of them, I think almost all of them, except for maybe 2, took a break for the summer.
Yeah.
And so they all will come back to me. So we'll have our 9 a.m. contemporary worship service. And then at 9:50, our small groups will meet. And you can actually, if you wanted to learn more about our small groups, you can go to christgreensboro.org/adults. And there's actually an advanced search bar, so you can pick the day of the week. And if you put in Sunday, then you can see all of our small groups that meet on Sunday. So anyway, so they'll meet. Our Christ Kids will have their small groups will be back in session. The Christ Youth will have their small groups back in session. And we're kicking off a new worship series called the Beatitudes.
Yeah.
Right?
So, yeah, with that worship series, we're super excited as a staff and as those who are leading in worship. It'll be such a nice kind of change of pace. So we've just finished our backpack series, which was great. We got to hear from all 4 of our pastors who equally did a great job. So we'll kind of be changing a change of pace, a new worship series. All the fall kickoff stuff is in full swing. If you're here with us on campus, you'll see where We had someone draw on our front windows to look like a beehive, put some honeycombs up. We have flowers around the gathering space that are like kind of decals on the wall and on the desk. It's just a really fun feel as we transition from kind of a summer together into a fall together.
We fall together.
We fall together.
Like llama, llama, llama. Oh, we don't. No, let's not do that. Let's not do that.
So
I don't have my Sandy costume on anyway.
But with that fall kickoff, Miss Crystal has just finished.
Oh yeah.
Our family resource wall, and that's something that she has been dreaming about and has been planning for honestly a couple of years at this point. Yeah. And it's just taken this long, with her being able to do her week to week job and getting all the resources and really taking time to look into what we can provide for families that's going to be meaningful, not just kind of stuff on the wall. Right. So I think that she, and now that Garrett's here, he's going to start keeping up with some of the stuff that will be in the middle and high school sections. But we have a great informational video that she filmed last week that was in the Monday email from this week.
Yep.
It's also on our social media channels, on our YouTube page. So you can find it kind of in 5-6 different ways. But in that video, sorry.
No, I was just going to say I need to drop it on the ChristGreensboro.org/children. So it'll be on that page too.
Yeah.
Don't let me forget.
So in that video, and she'll say it in a much like kind of more polished way, but I'll just say it real quick. Everything from birth to when you graduate high school, so 18-ish years old. And it gives you, the parent, the guardian, the adult that loves this child in your life, it gives you resources to help them with faith, with life, with things that they are going to encounter, not if they encounter, but when they encounter them. And it helps kind of, for us, the church, to equip you as the family, as the loved ones of these children and teens, to help them be as fruitful as possible in their lives. So it's all sectioned off. It's preschool, elementary, middle, high. We have some great timelines in that section, or in that space as well. There are options for you to take home, like just to keep for forever and ever. And there's some items that you can either check out, or you can reach out to Crystal and she will give you a QR code so you can like buy the book yourself online. So there's kind of all different levels of things on that wall. When we can't wait for you to use those resources.
Yeah, it's a cool resource for our families and parents. And I keep thinking Pastor Morris is trying to get in here, but I think we locked the door. I'm just kidding.
We locked the door, and I think someone's just actually doing something productive.
Except for us, we're just in here running our mouth. We jumped right into things.
Yes.
So we didn't get to talk about your time off. Like what I wanted to know, how did you escape? How did you like recharge your batteries while you were took your few days away from the church? Yeah,
so the weekend in question was, so most of us church staff, there are some of us that do work Fridays, but most of us have Fridays off, right? So we had Friday, Saturday as kind of our weekend. So I took Sunday, like Labor Day Sunday off, because I had a free Sunday to take. I thought it'd be a great time to recharge since I already was getting Monday off. And then Tuesday, my sister, who's getting married in a couple of weeks, I used to say a couple months. Now we're saying weeks. It is crazy. Wild.
Yeah.
Very exciting things to come. So I'm like oddly getting emotional about this. Okay, just bear with me.
I didn't bring any Kleenex.
Dang it. Okay. Well, here we are. I will just pull myself together. As Ed Namone would say, pull yourself together. You are Elastigirl. You can do anything.
That's right.
So, back on track. So Tuesday, Lauren had asked me to go with her to do like her trial haircut thing for her wedding. So I went with her and we spent the morning together, which was really fun. And I mean, literally she and I can do what we're doing now, just sitting and talking, and it'd be fun. But to go out and do something is always fun as well. So I did, I spent a lot of time with my family last week or 2 weekends ago, and I did a lot of needle pointing. I've gotten into that recently. In case you haven't heard, that is like my whole personality at this point, is just going home and stitching. But it's actually a really good thing for me because typically when I'd go home from work or from any kind of, I say overstimulating thing, you know, like you're in a crowd for a long period of time. So I would go home and either like sit on the couch and watch some TV, which is not a big deal, but it's not necessarily productive. Or I'd take a nap. I love a good nap. But now when I go home, I just stitch for a couple hours, and it's relaxing to me, but it's not, you know, watching TV mindlessly.
Right.
I might be listening to TV, but I'm stitching as well.
Yeah.
So I did a lot of stitching, sleeping, eating, and kind of not showering. That's really gross. I mean, I showered every day. I showered every day, but like I wasn't like getting up and getting dressed every morning like, you know, you do for work.
Yeah.
I throw on a hat to go to the grocery store.
You didn't really have a reason to put your pants on in the morning, so
I put my pants on, Lori Gray. Don't tell people on here. I was fully clothed at all times.
The whole thing with somebody.
This is getting out of hand.
No, where people say you gotta have a reason to get up and put your pants on in the morning.
Yes. Okay.
So I was just saying,
dear listener,
we are so sorry.
So I really enjoyed.
I'm glad I didn't pop in.
You would have been fine. I would have been clothed on the couch. So what did you do for your Labor Day weekend since we weren't together?
I went to Sunday. I went out to Linwood Lake. Lake. It's one lake. There's not multiples. It's one small lake. I have some friends that live out there, and so I went out there and hung out with them. And then Monday, Labor Day, I did not labor.
Yes, as one should not.
I just kind of laid around. Laundry, dishes, chores, whatnot. Not much of anything.
It's nice to have a reset day, though.
Yeah, I could use a reset day during the week. I don't really get one most weeks. But anyway, we're all getting ready to, you and I, we're going to have to figure out the podcast in a couple weeks because we're going to be traveling.
Yeah. So our church, specifically Pastor Morris, really sees great value in having us, the staff, always learning, always growing, always finding new opportunities to become better at what we do, right? So he has assembled this smallish team of different various parts of our staff to go where?
We are going to Kansas City.
Oh, I thought you were going to say the home of Travis Kelce.
Well,
which I'm really glad you didn't.
I was gonna. Well, you didn't.
You jumped in.
You jumped in. I was gonna say we're going to Kansas City, and we're going to the Church of the Resurrection, which is Adam Hamilton's church, and it's the largest Methodist church in the country.
Methodist Church.
United Methodist Church in the country. But it is also, of course, the home of the Kansas City Chiefs, and as you may or may not know, you should know if you don't, but so there, of course, football's back in season, and Taylor is on a break from her concert, from her Eras tour, and so, there is not a game on either. Well, there's not a home game on either side of our trip, so we won't get to go to a game. But I feel pretty confident that they're probably going to be in Kansas City, and we might see them.
Well, it's kind of like, like when the King of England or the Queen of England, is in residence, they're flying a flag outside. So how lucky would you be if they were flying a flag outside wherever they were possibly staying?
Well, Katie and I have matching Taylor Swift pajamas that we bought specifically for this trip. And
if you could see my face right now, listener,
it is not
cute.
And we're thinking that maybe if we do a TikTok in our Taylor Swift pajamas and we tag Tay and Travis, that, maybe they'll reach out and want to go get some barbecue with us while we're in Kansas City.
There is always room to be hopeful.
I'm just saying.
I'm happy for you.
I'm very excited about the prospect. As a matter of fact, the other thing.
The prospect.
The other thing is that we've got that survey. I've got to go fill it out. That came from Adam Hamilton.
Yeah.
And it was like, what would be one thing that would just make your experience great or whatever? And I really want to put on there to meet Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce, but I'm not going to do it.
Well, you should, because I answered free cheese. They don't obviously want you to be serious. Like super serious.
Okay,
I said free cheese.
Well, then I'm going to do it. I'm going to be like,
what I
want to see Tay and Trav.
Well, so we're flying to Kansas City on a Tuesday.
Yep.
We'll be there, half a day before the conference starts. We'll be there for 3 days and then flying home on the third day, like after the conference wraps up for the day. So
we're going to be tired.
Or part of your team here at Christ Church is going to be abroad, and it will be wild, I think. But I plan on, as the person that posts on social media, kind of keeping people in the loop, kind of like little behind the scenes of like, hey, like we're in the airport, like what's your favorite snack in the airport? Or, you know, when you get to an Airbnb, what do you set the temperature to? You know, like all kinds of like
There's
funny little
things.
There's
going to be a fight. I'm
bringing my own fan because you, madame, are a cold-natured woman.
Listen, I am bringing my parka. Don't you worry. I've already got
I'll bring you a parka if you'll not make me turn the air up to 82.
Listen, I come to your house. It is so cold.
I pay for that Tundra.
Listen,
don't talk about my Tundra like that.
But it is so cold. I mean, I keep a pair of socks at his house.
She really does.
I do, like wool, like fuzzy socks to keep. It is so cold. Okay, we've gotten off topic. Anyway,
we are so
I'm sorry,
glad, and I don't mean this to be light. Like we are so glad that you have decided to join us this week and every week.
Yes.
To be with us, to hear the banter, to hear the good news. Well, that
hopefully
sounds like
you learn. Well, hopefully you learn something and not just
learn that we're just off our rockers. Like something actually helpful to your well-being.
I don't know.
But we are so grateful that you've decided to spend time with us this week, and we look forward to being with you again next week.
And you know what? You can come spend time with us in person if you want to.
Yes.
I mean, we're a good time in person too.
So you can either join us at 9 a.m. or 11 a.m. on Sunday mornings.
Or in between times.
We have Welcome Wednesday on Wednesdays. We have all kinds of good things you can jump in and be a part of. So if you're interested in being a part of that.
Yep. You can, you can check out our website, christgreensboro.org. Mm-hmm. That's where you can register, do all the things. You can email us at
info@christgreensboro.org.
Yep. And we would love to hear from you, and we would love to see your face in person. And if you do come in person, if you've been listening to us and you're like, I got to go see these people, like they sound like a real good time.
These jokers.
You have got to let us know. I've been listening to your podcast. I wanted to meet you in person, and we will get a picture with you and put it on social media.
I will blush. And I'll be fine, and then we'll be good.
And we might get really excited and scream, I'm not sure.
Yeah. If I hug you really, really quickly, I'm sorry. I love a good hug.
A bit awkward.
Well,
okay,
it has been so much fun, and we will look forward to being with you next week.
Yes, we will be here.
Bye.
Bye.